In Japan, LGBTQ+ couples have a partnership certificate issued by their ward office. This certificate, however, has none of the legal guarantees and ensuring rights afforded to heterosexual couples. This inequality has led to activists ramping up the pressure on Japan's Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida. As Japan prepares to host the G7 summit in May and the clock ticks down, activists are urging the government to enact an anti-discrimination law before the summit, and equal marriage rights for same-sex couples. Kishida has attempted to deflect the criticism of the conservative Liberal Democratic Party, creating a new government post responsible for LGBTQ+ rights, but his equivocal stance on sexual minority rights was condemned. Co-leader of a group of lawyers representing plaintiffs in Tokyo cases, Takako Uesugi, said it was tantamount to approving of discrimination. With the issue being highlighted during the G7 summit, U.S. Ambassador to Japan Rahm Emanuel has called for clear, unambiguous legislation to protect sexual minorities before the current parliamentary session ends in June. It is not just external pressure Kishida has to face, he needs to convince influential members of his own party. Right-wing member of the lower house, Mio Sugita, looked to have endorsed damaging views of LGBTQ+ members by claiming they were unproductive. However, she retracted her comments and apologized late last year. At a Pride 7 summit in Tokyo last week, campaigners outlined the importance of a law to protect LGBTQ+ people, both in terms of it being a minimum requirement to be able to be who they are and a symbolic step toward eliminating discrimination and prejudice. The government's stance on creating this law appears to be against traditional family values, yet a recent poll by the Asahi Shimbun showed 72% of voters said they believed gay marriage should be legalized. In response, the leader of a sexual minority support group said Japan was unfit to host the G7 summit. This has been the reality for Akane Kosaka and her partner. They live in fear of one of them falling ill or becoming injured in an accident and feeling unable to legally visit each other in hospital. For them, the lack of recognition of their equal rights sends the message that they are not important and do not exist. With the international community watching, the government of Japan must acknowledge the portion of its population. Put pressure on the Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, and the conservative Liberal Democratic Party to empower the LGBTQ+ population and recognize their equal rights, create an anti-discrimination law and provide equal marriage rights.